Adjunct Professor Moran, Microeconomics. In prior sessions, we discussed the total cost, total revenue approach to determining profit maximization, and we introduced the concept of the marginal revenue, marginal cost approach to price and quantity determination. This is what we're trying to do in these units on different types of business competition: pure competition, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, and monopoly. We're trying to determine the price quantity determination and see which one is best for society, and it's going to be pure competition. And it will give us the lowest price, the greatest quantity. Goods will be produced at least cost method of production, productive efficiency, and it will make the mix of goods and services most desired by society, allocative efficiency. We did that by going down and finding price greater than average total cost price, marginal revenue, which equals price, which equals average revenue, which equals total, which equals demand. All of these are equal because the purely competitive firm faces a perfectly elastic demand curve. The market demand curve is negatively sloped, but it is assumed this individual is so small, he has no impact on the overall market, so he's a price taker. That won't be true in later units where they have imperfect competitors. So to apply our rule, the perfect competitor sells as much as he wants at 131. His goal is not to sell as much as he can. His goal is to profit maximize, which, because of the principle of diminishing marginal product, the cost curves will profit maximize, loss minus shut down at a certain amount. Alright, so here we have increasing marginal returns and then diminishing marginal returns and negative marginal returns. When we're talking about products, at first, when you add variable inputs to a fixed plant capacity, you'll get a bigger bang. Your total product will be going up at your marginal product will be going up at a faster rate. And then it'll start going up at a slower rate as you experience diminishing marginal products. And then it'll start going down. So here we have diminishing marginal products, increasing, diminishing, and negative. So the principle of diminishing marginal product is named only after one section of the curve. But when you flip this from product to cost, the marginal cost curve is going to look like this. So increasing marginal returns is here, diminishing is over here, and eventually you'll get negative, but you can't see it because we've flipped it. It's not a product curve anymore. So the principle of diminishing marginal product, as you add additional units of a variable input to a fixed plant capacity, you'll get increasing marginal product. You get increasing extra amounts as you add additional units of variable input. Then you'll get positive but smaller amounts, which is diminishing. Eventually, if the factory gets ridiculously crowded, you get negative as you add additional units of variable input. So that's why this cost curve is falling at first, then rising. So never make the decision on this side of the marginal cost curve. The optimum result will always happen after the marginal cost curve hits a minimum and starts rising, not here. So if you could make the next unit for $70 and sell it for $131, would you do it? Yeah, you'd be $61 better off. If the next one costs you additional $80, you're experiencing diminishing marginal returns, your marginal costs are going up. If the next one costs you $80 to make and you could sell for $131, would you make it? Yeah, you're not making as much as that one, but you're still making a positive $51. Your marginal cost on the next good rises to $90, and you could sell it for $131. Of course you'd make it. You're making an extra $41. 110 and 131, that's an extra $21 in revenue. 130 and 131, that's an additional $1. But you would not produce at 150 marginal cost and 131 total revenue, the marginal revenue. Your total revenue would be your total profit would be diminishing by $19. And there it is, your profit maximizing at $2.99, 9 units of output, but by making the next one, you've lost $19 on that one. So it doesn't wipe out your entire profit, it's just starting to reduce it. So this firm would make 9 units of output, sell it at 131. Its total profit would be 131 minus average total cost of 98 times 9 units would give you a profit of 299. Or you could take total revenue minus total cost and get 299. We're going to use the marginal revenue, marginal cost approach to determine output. Okay. So graphically, it looks like this. Marginal cost, average total cost, average variable cost, the saucer, flat saucer, average total cost, the tippy saucer, the distance represents average fixed cost. Price of 131, go down until you hit, now that you've determined marginal revenue equals marginal cost, we're at this point, price, marginal cost, go down until you hit average total cost, 131, average total cost of that was 98. He's making $33 a unit on 9 units, and if you multiply that, it comes out to $299. Actually comes out to $297, but there's rounding involved. This rectangle from here to over represents the firm's economic profit. So we practiced calculating marginal total cost, marginal cost, average total cost, and average variable cost in the last session. And we went ahead and graphed it. Marginal cost like a check mark, average variable cost, saucer, average total cost, tippy saucer. How would you interpret the distance between average total and average variable? That's average fixed cost. Very high when there's a low number of units, because the low number of units is carrying the entire weight of the average fixed cost. But the gap is very narrow, average fixed cost is very narrow at high numbers output because more units are sharing the weight of the average fixed cost. Why does the average total cost first decline and then rise? Because of the principle of diminishing marginal returns or diminishing marginal product. The idea that as you add additional units of a variable input to a fixed plant capacity, at first your product will go up, your products will go up at a higher and higher rate as you use additional units of an input. Then it'll go up, but at a slower rate, still positive though. And then it'll go up, then if your factory becomes ridiculously crowded as you add additional units of a variable input, you'll get negative marginal product. So it's actually named only for the middle section described. Why the marginal cost curve intersects both at minimums. It doesn't really matter which way marginal cost is going, down or up. As long as it's below the average will fall. But when it crosses, when marginal cost, your next cost crosses over and becomes higher than your average total will rise. So both of these, average variable and average total cost, have to minimize where they cross the marginal cost curve. If fixed costs were 20 instead of 12, it would have no impact on variable and marginal costs. Those are determined by your variable input. We don't bother putting fixed cost on this graph because fixed cost in the short run is fixed and can't be controlled to either profit max, loss min, or shut down. Suppose that the price were $11 per unit. Now what we're going to do is going to answer these questions in an attempt to demonstrate the marginal cost, marginal revenue approach maximizes profit. Now some students have a misconception that profits will be maximized where price is at its greatest over average total cost, where average total cost is minimized. But that's not true, and we're going to demonstrate that in this problem. Let's assume price is 11. So you take 11 and shoot it across, and you'll find that 11 hits marginal cost at 7 units of output. Let's go and look at it in numeric form. So if price is 11, keep going down your marginal cost curve until price, a marginal revenue, which equals price. The last time it's greater than or equal to marginal cost. So yes, you'll make it. If you could make it the next one for 3 and sell it for 11, you'd make it. If you could sell it, if you could make the next one for 6 and sell it for 11, you'd do it. You're adding more to your profit. You're adding less each time, but you're still adding positive numbers to your profit. The next one costs 9 to make, and you can sell it for 11, yes. 10, sell it for 11, yes, but not 12. If it costs $12 to make the next one, you wouldn't make it. If you could only sell it for 11, you'd be diminishing your total profit by $1. So now that we found marginal revenue, marginal cost, we can forget about that. We know that we're going to be making price 7 units, so price will be 11, 7 units. Notice that at 7 units, our average total cost is $7. That's just a coincidence, ignore that. So the average total cost is 7. In order to maximize profit, Fiasco would sell 7 units at a price of 11. Its average total cost would be 7. Right? And it would earn a profit of $4 a unit, price of 11 minus average total cost of 7. $4 per unit on 7 units gives it a profit of $28. Now, if the firm produced instead at the quantity that minimizes average total cost, so let's go back and look at average total cost minimizing someplace between 4 and 5. Let's pick 4. Its price would be last time that let's see, at average total cost minimum, its price would be okay at $11. At $11, average total cost is minimizing. Average total cost is minimizing at 4 units. And average total cost at 4 units is 6. So it's making $5 per unit, whereas before they were only making $4 per unit. So let's see how that works out. Do we want to maximize profit per unit or profit total? If the firm produced instead at the quantity that minimized its average total cost, it would sell 4 units at a price of 11, and its average total cost would be 6. Its profit, it would earn a profit per unit of 5. 5 times 4 is 20, so you can see that it's not going to profit maximize. What's happening there is if we graph the check mark for marginal cost, average total cost, average variable cost, and then a price, marginal revenue equals marginal cost, quantity and price. Now we have to determine profit max loss min. This area, go down to average total cost and come over, is the economic profit. Profit per unit on this many units. This rectangle is the economic profit. Now it's true that costs are going up in this segment. Average total cost will minimize here. But if they stop here, they're losing out on the profit here. Their costs are going up, but the price is still greater than these costs. So the firm will continue to produce these, making a decision not in total, but marginal decisions. They would give up this much profit then. And so you wouldn't stop here where average total cost is minimized. You continue to produce out here. That's what the problem is trying to demonstrate for us. If the competitive market price fell to $5, how much would Fiasco sell? Again, we're going to apply marginal cost equals marginal revenue. Yes, 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 no. So if the market price fell to $5, Fiasco would produce a quantity of 4. Now that we found marginal cost, marginal revenue, we don't have to do anything else with that. We're trying to find at that point price quantity. They would produce 4 units, selling at $5. What's our average total cost at 4 units? Uh-oh, our average total cost is 6. Well, what's our average variable cost? 3. So we need to apply our rule. Now that we have marginal cost, marginal revenue, we determine price quantity. We have to determine if we're going to profit max, loss min, or shut down. When profit is greater than average total cost, it's profit maximizing. That was the $28. We had price of 11 and average total cost of 7. Price was greater than average total cost, profit maximizing. But here we have average total cost of 6 and price of 5. So now price is less than average total. But is price greater than average variable, or is price less than average variable? Well, average variable is only 3, so price is between average total and average variable. This firm will loss minimize. This firm would be losing $1 a unit. The price is 5, the average total cost is 6, and it's doing that on 4 units. Its loss is $4. Why is that loss minimization? Notice that if the firm closes, it's going to incur its total fixed cost as a loss of 12. Because this firm is making $2 on its variable input, it can use the profit of $2 per unit on 4 units to pay down its fixed cost, which would incur in full if it opened. So the profit on the variable units can be used to pay down the fixed cost, resulting in a loss minimization situation. But if price falls further, less than average variable, perhaps to say $2, then not only will the firm incur its fixed cost as a loss, but it'll lose money in its variable inputs, and its loss will be even greater than 12, and that would be a shutdown condition. In the next unit, in the next session, we're going to go ahead and practice again calculating marginal cost and average total cost, determining price quantity combination, and then determining determining how much the individual firm would sell and determining a long-run equilibrium, where in the long run the price will vary until price equals marginal revenue equals marginal cost as well as average total cost.